Hello there, let's talk today about how to enable DHCP on a Hikvision camera. As you can see, I have my camera already connected to my switch. So basically the switch needs to connect to the camera and also to the router and to a computer. Right here I have the camera connected to a PoE port with powers via this cable. So it's using power over Ethernet. This cable goes to my router and this one to my computer, right? Let's just take a look here into a diagram so you can understand it better. Here's my camera. It's an IP camera connected to a PoE switch and connected to a router and also my computer. So everybody is connected to the same local network. And here's the IP range that I'm going to use, 192.168.0. something, okay? Right now I have a static IP for my camera, but I want the camera to get an IP from the router via DHCP, okay? So I need to enable that. The first time that I connect my camera to the network, I can use the software, the SADP, and the software finds the camera in the network. Let me just refresh here. So you see that the camera is found here by the software, and this is the IP, but it's not via DHCP. I gave this IP manually, right? If I want to enable DHCP, I just need to come here and enable here via SADP, or I can go to the camera's interface and do it from there, right? Let me just show you here my router. So here's 192.168.0.1. That's my router IP. So I can log into my router, and here I can check all the devices and all the IPs here that are assigned to those devices, okay? And here I find the Hikvision camera, which is manually assigned, but the router knows. And here is the MAC address, so I can make sure that this is the Hikvision camera, because the MAC address doesn't change for the device, okay? So we end here in 2D. When I come here to the SADP, I can look for the information here, just to make sure that I have the correct device. That's the one, ends in 2D, okay? Now, when I change here to DHCP, I can also check later on my router here if I have it assigned with the new IP. So the idea is just let the router give the camera an IP address. Let me just do that. So I come here and I can enable DHCP. Let me just select the camera first, and then I come here and I enable DHCP here, okay? Then I just input the password here and hit modify. So the parameters modification complete. I have the information here. Now let me just refresh here and see if it gets a new IP. So as you can see, 192.168.0.225, it's a new IP for this camera, okay? Let me just come here to my router and refresh and see if I have the IP there. So here I just refresh this screen. It'll take some time so the camera can check the devices that are connected, and I can see the new IP address for this camera. So here we go, we have the refresh, and down here you can see the IP address for this camera, 192.168.0.225, okay? That was given by the router. So now it's working with the DHCP. I can come back here to the SADP, and here I have the information. If I double click here, it's going to load the browser. So let me just log into the camera here. So here we go, I have my camera working, and here I have the configuration, and I come here to the network menu, basic settings, and here I see the DHCP it's enabled, right? So basically I can use the SADP tool to enable the DHCP, or I can come here directly to the camera and enable from here, right? Because here you can check on uncheck and enable from here. The idea is to use static IP. It's best to use that way. So if your router gives your camera an IP, after that you can come here and disable the DHCP option and leave the IP address just like this, okay? Because the router already knows which IP address is not being used on your network and can give it to your camera, so you can leave like that, right? So usually that's what I do. And I usually also change here the DNS server, okay, to one that everybody uses. That's 8.8.8.8. Okay, and another one here, the secondary 8.8.4.4. Okay. Then when I save here, now I'm gonna have the static IP address instead of the DHCP one, okay? So it works that way. I can just hit save here and I'm good to go. The unit is going to reboot when I do this. When I assign a static IP, it works like this, okay? I'm not gonna reboot right now. It's just an example here of how to insert a static IP address. But if you really want to keep working DHCP, you can also enable from here and save, okay? So that's the idea. Now you know how to enable DHCP on your Hikvision camera. As long as you have it connected to the router can give the camera an IP address and you're good to go, okay? I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to this channel, leave your thumbs up and your comments, and I see you in the next one.